Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Wednesday, the 30th of March. Let's have a look at firstly any the impact, potential impact. It's just whoops, wrong one. Get to the right one. There we go. Possible impact today, and just there we go. So we've got ECB speaker at 9 a.m, 10 past 9. We've got MPC, ECB, sorry, at 10 past 9, at 9 o'clock. MPC at 10 past 9. At 1:15, ADP non-farms. They're about useful as a chocolate teapot, but they can still move the markets. We got the final GDP for the US at 1:30. It's the final figure. It normally has the least impact of all the GDP numbers. The advance normally leads the way. Don't expect too much change there. I mean, there's a lot of beans to count. Sometimes there's a slight variance on the third reading, but generally has a very low impact. Crude oil inventories at 330 there might have a bit of impact around the oil prices, of course. And FOMC speaker at 6, well, it's quite late on there, so I don't expect too much from that. Just looking through my other list here, yep, Broadbent speaking, I'm just checking because sometimes we get missed events on between the two. Yep, we've got a couple of speakers this afternoon that are not there. We've got ECB speakers at 1:30 and 3:15, and another Fed speaker barking at 14:15. So there you go. Right, okay, let's have a look at the markets, and we'll start off with the euro as ever. One thing I'd say is that the dollar's getting a bit crunched. The euros, okay, yesterday, I mean, with the news of potential ceasefires or some sort of treaties happening, which depends on who you listen to where it is. It really matters little though at the moment in terms of the market here. It's just it's hardly pushed that far. I mean, you'd almost expect something more, but perhaps that's just people being careful in terms of not getting overly excited about the whole situation. In the shorter term, looking through the 4-hourly, well, it's just consolidating around these highs. It's not the best of patterns, but it might still have some further upside there. The euro looking down a little bit, daily untouched pivot below. It's a bit mucky how it sits here. It's not such a pretty picture, and perhaps we will see a breakdown back towards that sort of level, but it's a tough old one. Okay, that's the euro. The pound, so the pound this morning, it's well, catching a bit of a bounce here. 4-hourly time frame also showing that bounce. I'm just look, it's such a mess here. Yesterday it got into I just didn't trade in the afternoon. It just, when it started going all over the place, I just left it. I was in some trades, just slightly short of a target on the pound short, but it never happened. It reversed, and that was that. So it was these days you can't account for. Anyway, there we go. It's pushing up a little at the moment. It again, well, it's through its daily pivot. It's a difficult one. It's quite choppy, difficult one to really work out there. I think it's got a bit of a bias towards the upside at the moment. Yen certainly recovering here against the US dollar. Yen here certainly a recovery. Coming off south here at the moment. Maybe we'll see some more of this. It's just a fraction away from the weekly pivot here. My preference would be the long side on the yen regardless, but we'll see. There is the bond buying exercise still going on, I imagine. How that's affecting, we'll see. But for now, Um, it does have support. It's been really crushed over the last few weeks, and a bit of a retracement this week is probably not unexpected to be unexpected. But break the trend, I'd be looking alongside maybe. I don't that often trade it. I prefer to trade it to the upside, but it might still have some further downside there. Aussie dollar chopping around the highs here. The Aussie dollar doing okay as well. It's sort of middling a little bit, not doing against its, doing well against its peers, but doing okay against the dollar. But as I say, everything just about is. It is knocking on the door here of these prior highs. Maybe a push later on. We'll see it break through that and continue. Short term, that really sums it up nicely yesterday. Choppy as anything. So you look at it and you think, well, which way is that going to go? And it's not even clean in between the time frames. So this is why I just sort of backed out the market. And once the news started coming through and the market started to get a bit wild, I just backed out. There's no point trying to do anything there. Canadian dollar, it's not too dissimilar. Certainly keeping its trend there. It did strengthen yesterday. Well, the dollar sold off against the Canadian dollar here, and again we're sort of close to some lows here, and it looks like, well, at some point that might break. But well, seeing a bit of a bounce at the moment around the bodies sort of thing. It's again a bit of a mess, and it might be, for me personally, I need a day to let it trend itself out. Okay, that's the CAD. I mean, it's just days like this you just think, well, I can't see anything. And I need to go through the cross pairs yet, of course. There might be something there. Looking at the commodities, gold seen a bounce off the monthly pivot there yesterday, off the 50, etc. But it did pretty much sell off through that. But again, a bit of a bounce. If risk is back off or back on, I'm a bit surprised that gold's actually pushing up too much. Maybe that could be well, we might see a sell-off on that later. It's edging its way up slowly. Big movement yesterday, but there's just the dollar weakness here more than anything else. So we could say, if the dollar starts picking up, see gold sell off quite quickly. Oil, well, of course, this is going the opposite way, but also gaining strength here. Oil pushing up today, did end up on a positive day yesterday, but again, very, very choppy. Difficult to try and work this out. I didn't catch yesterday's short there. It happened too early for me. It did look right at the time. It sort of set up, but unfortunately it just ran a bit too early, and then obviously news come out and just fired off, and that spoilt that one. So post 2 o'clock it did start picking back up again. It's looking more positive at the moment and might have a bit of a follow through at some point today. Okay, that's oil. Looking elsewhere then, let's just get my other charts up. Disconnected on that. Let's go through. Let's just have a look at crypto yesterday then. Well, crypto today is off a little bit, Bitcoin, but we're seeing it holding up half decently where it is. It's certainly in the sort of buying zone relatively. Last couple of days, very small movement, but as I say, much more positive outlook there. Ethereum, my preference there, is still pushing up well as well. It's broken now through the prior highs. It's into its monthly R1, but still looking pretty strong there. Someone asked me why look at Ripple yesterday. Well, I guess people are buying into Ripple because there's always a chance of the court case being properly settled and a bigger move going. It is behind the curve though, relative to the others in terms of prior highs. Cardano's not doing quite so well either in terms of not taking out these prior these prior highs at the moment, struggling a little bit yesterday. BNB still they're sort of lighter. Certainly the Bitcoin's leading the way there. It's but we've been seeing sort of bigger money running back into it, so probably it's driving it up, and again with Ethereum being pushed with it. So some of these struggling a little bit more than others here at the moment. It still looks relatively bullish on these, but a slow burn maybe. The trouble is we get so fixed with things going up very quickly in this crypto world that you expect everything to do so. Looking across the equity markets, and there's a bullish step in the air by looks of things. Well, for the CSI 300, which had a torrid old time, bouncing a little bit, but a break above that 4.3 area, it'd be a bit more of a bullish market, but it's still where it is. I'm still quite bearish on it. Nikkei didn't really do too much. It hasn't done too well. It just continued to consolidate. I was asked the question yesterday, will these gaps get filled in? Well, the potential of course is yes, but maybe on the way down. We've got a bit of what is referred to as an island reversal here in this terms of price action, is where you sort of it's the last hurrah even. But we'll see how things develop here. But yes, the gaps may get filled in if the market starts moving to the downside. They become good targets. But for now, if the market's holding up here, there is still potential. When I say last hurrah, that's the idea of an island reversal. But in this particular case, consolidation. I'm keeping neutral on it. I'm not going to. Oh well, we'll come back to that in a minute. So looking at it across the Asian markets, it's going to look at Nifty 50 pushing up some more, breaking above its previous highs here, pushing up there. Looking okay, looking solid enough at the moment, and following the sort of general lead of things. Looking at then the European markets, DAX, well, yesterday, good solid day, off a bit this morning, but well, I would expect more out of this to the upside eventually. Yeah, just expect a bit more upside there. The CAC, again, it's broken through now solidly and pushing up there yesterday. Again, I would expect a bit more of a follow through. Of course, we've seen that such a big day yesterday. We're probably retracing a part of that at the moment, but profit taking maybe. But the overall view looks like it's got some more upside. Looking then at Ftse's open, let's click on the Ftse, and again, solid day yesterday. Previous days, as I said, it looked a little bit iffy, but yesterday it was pushing up quite quickly, and well, it's certainly looking quite solid at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised if we head towards those previous highs the way it's running at the moment. Okay, US markets. S&Ps again solid at this stage, real good bounce at the moment. Now whether it's a bounce and is going to roll over is anyone's question there, but at the moment I wouldn't stand against these moves. The Nasdaq coming off a little bit this morning, but again, all solid movements through. Joy and happiness everywhere. There we go. And same with the Dow Jones. So and looking bullish at the moment. So these all look like they've got some potential continuation there. Okay, that's pretty much it for me. Oh, let's just look at the yields. Yields coming off a bit there as money's going back into bonds maybe. So yep, solid old day in most of the markets there, and everything looks cheerful at this moment. With the currency side, as I say, it's a bit of a struggle for me this morning. Maybe something we're setting up across the cross pairs, and something we'll catch something. But at the moment, I'm going to be treading carefully. Have a great day. I'll catch you tomorrow. Bye for now.